Got a big game coming up on Saturday. Excited about the opportunity we have here in Tucson to have the 11th ranked team in the country here. They're playing outstanding football. Won 16 out of the last 20 games, and sitting here at 6-1 this year. And two teams coming off byes, so two teams that are ready to roll, two teams that are excited, healthy, and I think it should be a great football game. Love to see the place get sold out. Love to see a great crowd on Saturday evening. I know it's another 7:30 kickoff this week and again next week. And apologize to you guys in advance that you might have to be up there late writing. But hopefully one of these days we'll get an early kickoff. It will be good for our kids, be good for the families, good for our fans, good for recruits. But we will play when they tell us to play, and we'll play our best game on Saturday evening.
Jedd, there's been a lot of discussion of the quarterbacks in the league this year. You played three of the ones whose names have been mentioned, in your last three games. Where does DJ fit in there? How was he like? How was he like them and not like them?
Yeah, I think all the quarterbacks in this league that we've played, I guess these last three, DJ, and then I don't know what UCLA is doing right now. If they're playing with Garbers or more, but they're all elite quarterbacks. We got a great league of quarterbacks. DJ has come in and really gave a great spark to their passing game. I think they're up maybe 30 or 40 yards a game. They're playing at they're making explosive plays down the field. They're hitting on those deep crossing routes and big plays down the field that have really enabled them to take their offense one step further. And he's also making good decisions in the red zone. They're the number one red zone team in the country. They're 25 out of 25 down there. And so I would say that he's another great quarterback that we're going against. I've known of him throughout his time when he was recruited to go to Clemson, and then certainly know, watching him play now, that it's another good quarterback we're going to play. And we've got good quarterbacks, and they got good quarterback, and it'll be a good game.
How much of an impact has your Uyagalele made for your team this year?
Tai's done. He's made an impact even starting in last year. He had that huge sack against UCLA in the Rose Bowl game when we played them at their place. He's been a great asset for our program as a true freshman last year, and now this year. We kind of played him inside, then we played him outside, then we back playing him inside, kind of moved him around. He's sitting at that, 270-pound mark, so we're able to kind of do what we want with him, maybe 265. But he's done a great job of playing defensive end for us, holding the point, being able to be on top of those tight ends. And we need a huge game this week from our defensive line.
To ask, but there was a Sports Illustrated story that came out that talked about your connection to Conor Stallions. How can you address that, and what was his role here when he was here?
He had no role here. He's never been a part of Arizona football. He's never been employed by Arizona football. He's the last time I've seen Conor Stallions or talked to Conor Stallions was April of 2021. I think he came to our spring game. But I've known him. I knew him when I was at Michigan. In 2016, he was a student assistant at Navy and came by and wanted to volunteer and start working because of his love for Michigan football. And that was kind of the extent. Met him a couple times throughout the years. And then he's a hardworking kid that they got a weird situation going on over there in Ann Arbor, but it has nothing to do with Arizona football or nothing to do with what we do here.
His start to college football, did you see a little bit of maybe yourself in him? Just how his path to coaching?
Yeah, I don't know him well enough really to even be able to judge on that. I could just say that he was someone that went to Navy. I knew that, graduated from Annapolis, and then tried to get involved in coaching.
Jedd, in the last, at least this season, it seems like when you win the toss, generally you'll take the ball. Washington State, you opted to defer. Was there a science in putting your defense on the field first?
No, they won the toss at Washington State, and they took the ball. The week before against SC, we won the toss and we deferred. We've gone back and forth. We talk about it. We kind of have an idea of, some of it's how do we feel we're playing. Some of it's how do we feel, by who do we want to put out first. Some of it's just based upon, my thoughts in the end of the half, start of the second half. That's a big thing for me is those middle 8. We've talked about that before. And I think we took the ball early on. We took it, first drive. We wanted to, against NAU, we wanted to get down there and score. And then we tried to replicate that against Mississippi State and didn't have success. And then we kind of gone back and forth on it. But we'll see what it looks like on Saturday night. I'm still not sure what we'll do if we win the toss. Actually, they'll be calling it, so we'll see what happens.
Do you have a decision yet on the quarterback, or are you keeping that until game time?
Yeah, I'm going to keep that till game time right now. I think they're both ready to play, though. I think they're both ready to play, and we'll have to see, how it's all going to end up. But right now, they're both going to be dressed, both going to be participating in warm-ups, and both prepared regardless of who goes in.
Oregon State brings in a second quarterback for a specific series. Do you anticipate? Could you see yourself using a second as a package?
Yeah, we've thought about that and we've talked about that. We've thought about that and we've talked about that, Brian.
Oregon State's 25 for 25 inside the red zone. From watching them, what makes them so effective in the red area?
Well, I would say I think we're 29 for 31, and we're 29 for our last 29, I think, or whatever. No, maybe we got stopped twice against NAU at the end there. Maybe we're 25 or last 25. But you got to run the ball. You got to be able to run the ball in the red zone and not turn it over. That's really last year we had I think 7 turnovers in the red area, whether that be turnover on downs or whether that be an interception or a fumble. The 2 times that we got stopped this year, one was when Jedd scrambled and fumbled the ball in the 8, and one was the interception. So they are very smart with the football down there, and if you put yourself in position by running the ball, you give yourself the best chance to be able to score down there, get close enough to field goal range, and then get it in the end zone.
And then what kind of challenge does this game present to both lines for you?
It's going to be a heavyweight fight. It's going to be a heavyweight fight. There's no question about it. These guys are physical. Everybody's healthy. I know their center's back, and the running backs are really good, and our defensive line is healthy and ready to go. Our offensive line, for the most part, I don't think Polito will be ready to play, but he did practice a little bit yesterday. He will practice today. And he will probably be available to us in an emergency situation. So you take that out of the equation, everybody's good. I think it's going to be a big time brawl inside, and our guys are excited about that challenge. And I know that that's the type of game they like to play.
Justin obviously asked you about your relationship with Conor Stallions. The subject of sign stealing has obviously been in the. People have been talking about it a lot for the last week or so. What is acceptable? What's not acceptable? What's within the rules? What's not?
Yeah, the sign stealing thing is very interesting. I kind of agree with Coach Prime. You got to stop people, even if you know what's coming. And I think he made the comment like, it doesn't matter if a sweep's coming, you got to stop the sweep. I think that when I look at it in my experiences, I don't know how to do it. I wouldn't know how to process getting a call, being told what happened. Hey, you're going to get this coverage, and getting a play in fast enough to communicate it without these communicators and without the stuff that you have. We signal, we use wristbands, we go fast, we use tempo. It would be very difficult. So I don't really get it. I don't understand the huge value in it. I think we should just play football. But on top of it, we could get rid of it by just giving coach the quarterback communicators in our helmets and not say things like, well, we don't know if it's safe, when we know that the NFL does it, and we know the XFL did it, and we know the USFL did it. I think we're the only group that doesn't do it. So if we just did that, we wouldn't be having any of these conversations. We wouldn't have to see 400 different big cards and sheets and all the things that people hold up and We wouldn't have to be having 40 people signal and 82 different colored outfits. We could just press a button, call a play, and run a play. Kind of what we do in the NFL. So that's my feeling on it, Mike.
Does your messaging this week change in terms of, this is a borderline top 10 team coming to town, getting national attention and stuff like that?
Well, we had that with Washington, and then we went to SC when they were a top 10 team. So it's been a unique run here. I mean, we've gone really, I forget if they were 7 or 9. One of them was 7, one of them was 9, Washington, SC. Then we go on the road to 19th, and then we're back here with 11th. I mean, so all 4 of these games in a stretch have been against top 20 teams. The messaging has been pretty clear. This is a really good team. This is a really, really good team that you go back and you look at the way they finished last year, the way they started this year, how they're playing, and for our team to have this opportunity to host them in our stadium is awesome. And we need to take advantage of that opportunity. And sure, it would certainly put you on the map if you go ahead and, take care of business and win this game. That would certainly put Arizona football on the map based upon how we've played the last few weeks. And the players understand that.
One more. What's the challenge this week for the corners with Oregon State having 2 smaller receivers as opposed to what you faced in the last few games?
Yeah, small and fast. They got speed at wideout, which I love, which I respect that they have that, and you gotta cover that. You gotta cover them down the field. The biggest challenge for our corners will be if we don't get a pass rush. We need to get a pass rush against this team because what they're going to do is they're going to try to stretch the field with their speed. But we got a great. I really love the way our corners play. You got to play. Got to be able to play man and zone against this team, and you've got to be able to put DJ in a situation where he can't just sit back there and let the wideouts you're referring to get open on double moves and deep down the field.
What makes Oregon State a good football team? Like, what do they do well defensively in your eyes?
They swarm to the ball. They're very physical. They tackle extremely well. They've got really good tacklers on that team. And they don't play a ton of different coverages, and they don't play a ton of different fronts. But what they do is they do it really well. And they're sound. You don't see a ton of missed opportunities on their defense. When they have a shot to get the quarterback, they get the quarterback. When they have a shot to make a tackle, they make a tackle. And I would say that in the end, they're just very well coached and very disciplined defense.
Like a tally in terms of tickets sold yet for the game?
Yeah, I think we're at 42,000 right now, 42.3 or something like that. But I don't know. I mean, I just feel like we got 3 home games left, and this is a top 11 team, top 12 team. Like, come to the game. Come to the game. And that is my feeling. They're expecting another couple thousand sold in the next couple of days, but I believe we should be able to sell out this game, be able to sell out the next one, and be able to sell Utah.
Jedd, you mentioned in terms of the helmet communicator a safety concern. What exactly is the concern about that? Is it just having an electrical device inside the helmet, or?
I have no idea. That's just what I read. There is no safety concern because all the teams in the NFL and everyone else does it. I think there was discussion about warranties on helmets. There was discussions on, adding a speaker, not adding a speaker. The biggest thing about that, though, is you can't just let it go rogue. You can't just say everyone gets a speaker in their helmet. Everyone can just talk for as long as they want to talk. Like, you got to be able to put a plan in place if you're going to go to that, very similar to the NFL, where the headset shuts off at 15 seconds. So you have from 40 to 15, and then it's over. You have one guy on offense with a helmet speaker, one guy on defense with a helmet speaker. Only one coach can communicate to the helmet. I mean, there has to be some version, or I think we will not have football players anymore. Could you imagine just somebody in your ear the whole time while you're talking, trying to play the game and be able to play, they'd all just walk out and play helmetless, bring back the leather helmets. So we have to, if we're going to do it, which they're talking about doing it for the bowl season, we're going to have to do it in a manner that we understand how to regulate it. Okay? Thank you, guys.